Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. We are going to discuss on the topic Positivist School of Criminology. Now this Positivist School of Criminology was one of the school which basically talks about the scientific explanation of the criminal behavior. This was the first school which talk about the scientific explanation behind the criminality. So this school started in late 18th century. Now this school is also known as Italian School of Criminology. The reason behind is the major exponents of the Italian School of Criminology, they all were Italians. Basically, as I discussed earlier, it emphasizes on scientific explanations for criminality. It states that neither free will nor innate depravity affect the nature of criminality. It is the anthropological features or physical features or structure of a person which determines his criminal behavior. Now, this focuses on the constitutional approach, which claims that the structure or physical characteristics of an individual determines the person's behavior. Means later we will see that the Cesare Lombroso, which is one of the proponents of this school, he has given a number of characteristics of criminal behavior. This school basically talks about the constitutional approach. This claims about that the physical structure or physical characteristics of an individual determines the person's behavior. Major proponents of these schools were the Cesare Lombroso, Enrico Ferri and Raffaele Garofalo. But in this presentation, I am only going to deal with the Cesare Lombroso contribution, and later in presentations we will discuss about the Raffaele Garofalo and Enrico Ferri's contribution in Positivist School of Criminology. Cesare Lombroso is also known as the father of modern criminology, first one who started the scientific explanation of criminality. Although it was been criticized by many of the sociologists, but still it had started the scientific explanation of criminal behavior. So therefore he was considered as the father of modern criminology, and he is also famous for his biological theory of crime. Biological theory of crime basically talks about the physical characteristics of the criminals, and so he has done his first work on this criminal behavior, L'uomo delinquente, and the English version of this work is known as The Criminal Man. It was first published in 1876, and later on many of the editions of this book came. This person has received his degree in medicine in 1858 and he volunteered in our army in the field of medical service. So basically he was a forensic psychiatrist and he did the postmortems of many peoples. Now he has conducted an intensive study of the physical characteristics of his patients, and later on he concluded that who are criminals, they have different biological feature or anthropological features than the normal people. Either they have tattoos in their body, they have protruding jaws, protruding lips, they have wider forehead. These are some of the characteristics that he has noticed while he was working on his patients. So therefore he concluded that the criminals are physically inferior than the normal persons. And based on that, he categorized criminals in three categories: atavist, insane criminals and criminoids. Let us see what this talks about. So he talked about some of the characteristics of criminals, like thick lips, they have enlarged jaws, they have abnormal teeth, they have excessive wrinkles, they have coarse hairs on all over their body part. Now what are the atavists? Now, atavists are also known as hereditary criminals or born criminals. So, in his opinion, he stated that the criminals who are born criminals or basically atavists, they are more primitive stage of evolution, because which means that they are not evolved properly and are at their primitive stage of evolution. So, basically they called them as genetic throwback. Now, he said that they are incorrigible. He considered that these criminals are beyond reformation. They cannot be reformed because the aspect of criminality was hereditary in nature. They are by born, they have these characteristics and they have these things in their genes. So, they are incorrigible. So, you cannot reform them. Next, he talked about the insane criminals. He said that insane criminals are those who are unable to understand the nature and conduct of their act on account of mental depravity or disorder, because they are not able to understand what are they doing. So, basically, for insane criminals also, he said that they are also cannot control their act, because they are also not in a good mental state, so that they can differentiate between the good act or bad act. So, they are also. Now, next category they have stated about is criminoids. So, basically these criminoids have the tendency to commit crime in order to overcome their inferiority complex. They have some inferiority complex amongst them, and to overcome those inferiority complex they commit crime in order to survive in the society, and they behave like they are normal, but inside they have some inferiority complex, and to overcome them, these complexes, this person commits crime and feels better. So, that is all for today in Positivist School of Criminology, and I hope you understand this lecture, and if you have any doubts or questions you can comment below. I will try to answer all the questions. You can also follow my Telegram channel to know about more updates.